Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We are here today as Fuse Online College. Today it's our opening conference day for coding for kids. Right. So firstly, maybe I just want to tell you what is Fuse Online College. Maybe let me tell you our mission. Right. So our mission is to empowering the future generation. The world has many problems, as you know, that requires solutions. So we are here to empower the future generations to solve some of the problems, beginning with the community, the society, country, Africa, and also the world. Right, so I don't want to waste much of our time. Our program is like this. Our conference will proceed as follows. Cedric will be the first speaker, followed by Bongan, and Caroline will be the last. The following topics will be covered. Firstly, what is coding for kids? And secondly, why do we introduce coding to kids? Lastly, but not least, what is the purpose of coding for kids? So please stay tuned. Thank you.
Great thanks to Philip. I'm Cedric, and I'm going to share with you what it is that is going to change the future of the coming generations. So as Philip said, he has noted that we're going to be doing coding for kids, which is the same connotation with programming for kids. So the for kids part, it's important to us because it holds a special place in our hearts, because we need to change the direction in the future of the world, of Africa, through the generations that are coming after us. So I'm basically going to describe or to explain in brief what it is that we call coding. It sounds a little bit technical when it is called coding or programming. But coding is simply a term that is used for computer programming. Whereas someone might ask, I am using the word computer programming, the term computer programming in the same line as coding. So it might lose maybe its weight when it comes to describing what it is exactly. So I'll go ahead and describe what is programming. So programming is just a process of us or of a person giving some instructions, specific instructions to do specific tasks to a computer. So a computer just has to listen and execute what it is that it has been told to execute or to do. So for us to achieve this goal of coding, we just need to tick a few boxes. One of which is we've got some prerequisites. Obviously, we're going to need a computer because it is the one which is going to take some instructions. And we're going to need a coder who is going to be an instructor, who is going to instruct or to feed instructions to the computer. And for us to achieve that process of giving some instructions to the computer, we need a bridge. There's a bridge that we've got to cross, because I am sure it is well known that there are computer languages and there are human languages. Just like we have English, French, Spanish, etc. In computers, it is the same. You realize that I might need to talk to someone. I might need to ask for direction, say from Philip or from Wongani. But then if I'm speaking in Spanish and he doesn't understand Spanish, let's say he understands French, then we're going to have a communication breakdown. We're not going to be able to successfully communicate. And the end result is I'm not going to get some results. I'm not going to get the direction that I was looking for. So it's a hindrance that is there, which is now going to be covered by a programming language. A programming language is a computer language that is understood by computers. It has got its own rules, and it has got its own syntax or a way of writing or a pattern that is only understood by computers. For a person now, this instructor, to be able to give these instructions to a computer, he needs to have some knowledge of the programming language, which is, I am looking for directions to go somewhere. But I'm going to ask a Frenchman who is Bongani to give me some directions. And I am Spanish. Obviously, I've got to learn how to speak French, to translate my own thoughts or my own language from my own Spanish language and translate it into French so that I will be able to break the communication barrier and be able to deliver my request to Bongani, and he will then in return understand what I say and then give me back the results or the direction that I'm looking for. So that is the same process that goes on, that a computer goes through when they are kind of having this back and forth communication. So you realize that it's funny that you even see that there are errors. When there is an error, the program will not execute. So it is also shown if I'm requesting something and I cannot articulate it clearly, it means I'm not going to get the response that I need. So I've got to understand how exactly to deliver a message, to communicate to a Frenchman for me to get where I want to get. So this is just an introduction as to the process, how it goes. We need these three things. But then there is an interesting factor when we are looking at the programming language, when we are not looking at it as a language per se, but we are looking at the programming language as a tool now. When we are becoming technical, now we have gone away from the example that I've given of directions. Now we are getting a little bit technical, but trust me, it won't be easy. It won't be hard to grasp. So a programming language now is a tool. We see that we're going to need two things again now this time. The programmer himself is now an instructor. So we just call him a professional. And the programming language is a tool. So we can look at some examples that I've put together here. We've got different professions. We've got carpenters, we've got doctors, and we've got mechanics. All these people, they are professionals. They have learned, they've gone to school, or they've trained to become professional mechanics. And some have trained to become professional carpenters, and some they've trained to become professional doctors. But the goal was not to just be called a doctor. The goal was to understand a problem. If you are a doctor, you've got to understand how the human body functions. When somebody comes to you and says they are ill or they're not feeling well, they've got a headache, or any mishap that has happened to their body, you have got that expertise or that understanding of saying, if it's a headache, it's either it's this problem or it's this problem. And you have some boxes to tick again, or some questions to ask. When did it start? For how long? And you also need to know the intensity of the headache for you to be able to solve or to be able to administer the right medication to this patient. So now, looking at a doctor and a patient, we are also looking at a programmer now, or a coder, and a problem, or a client who has brought a problem to a programmer, or it's just a problem that has been, maybe it has been troubling the society or the environment for a long time. and you just see this has been a problem. So you have to understand that the problem is like this first. And then after understanding, you then understand how you are going to solve that problem. And then after you understand how you are going to solve that problem, you also then get to the point where you get to know, obviously, the tools that you're going to need to solve that problem. So in this case of a doctor and a patient, he knows maybe I've got to administer painkillers, or maybe this person has got an infection. I need to give them antibiotics and get them to heal faster according to the way they described their symptoms and how it happened, the intensity, how long it's been happening, and all the aspects that may need to be looked at. So same is the programmer. We look at the mechanic again. He's got a problem. We can look at this guy here. He is fixing a tire. You must be putting back a tire, or he's removing a tire. That must have been a flat tire. Maybe somebody had a problem on their way and they had to call a roadside assistant. But then this guy who is fixing a tire, that spanner is a certain size. But for it to be able to fit there, you couldn't take just an open spanner or a combination spanner to open there. He had to take a wheel spanner that is dedicated for the position, that fits well on the position and does the job efficiently. So this is how programmers now, if they are trained, if they understand well their trade, they will get to understand the exact spanner or the exact tablet to administer to a patient, so that they will be able to be to yield effective results in also quickly and efficiently. That is how programmers work as well. So I will take you back to the tools and the programmers, seeing that we are looking forward to have a generation that is coming that will look at the world and not get stuck or feel stuck, but they will look at the world and imagine themselves solving problems. Not just an imagination that just comes and goes, but an imagination that has got to yield results, because they now have training, they have expertise and understanding as to what they are going to need to solve a certain problem and how they are also going to solve a certain problem. So there's been a lot of problems here in Africa, some of which other continents like the West and the East, those are the guys who are leading in tech in the world, but they failed to solve those problems here in Africa. So we're looking forward to have a generation of kids, a generation of young boys and girls who are going to have this understanding and have these critical thinking skills to be able to look at a problem and understand that for sure this is a problem. But then what's next? They've got the tools now and the understanding of how to solve certain problems. So I'm not going to go far, but this is a place that we wish to take these kids that we are looking forward to coach, so that they become the programmers, the coders, the problem solvers, who do not get stuck and who do not retreat, but see problems as opportunities and as great challenges that they'll be willing to take on and solve and make the world, or Africa, a better place. Thank you so much for being with us. We look forward to getting your kids here.
Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you're joining us from. My name is Bangani, and I'll be taking you through the second part, which answers the question why, because we looked at the question through Cedric, who was addressing what is a programmer, what is a coder. Now we need to address why children need to be exposed to programming. You can also ask yourself, why do kids need to learn technology, or why do kids have to learn programming and coding? So we'll break this question into 3 parts. We'll use 3 approaches so we can all get a perspective of just how ideal it would be for children, especially African children, to learn how to code. Now, we'll have to look at it this way. We'll start by saying, how has programming impacted and changed the industry? How much of the world is using technology as of today? And also, what are the advantages of teaching coding and technology to kids? So let's have a brief understanding of where we came from and where we're going. So in as little as less than 200 years, we've actually made some rapid developments. And just to give you a quick rundown, if we go all the way back to 1843, the first analytical engine was developed. And the first programmer for that was the lady Ada Lovelace. She was an English mathematician. So she understood the benefit of writing an instruction to a machine to get it to do stuff. And fast forward, you get into the early 1900s, you've got languages like Fortran, COBOL Basic, which allow businesses to start processing mainframes, which push, the need for banks to adopt software technologies. You've also got Unix, which has given birth to Linux, a Mac operating system. And also you've got the first video game, Pong, which was created in 1972. We also have the World Wide Web, as we commonly know as WWW, which is the birth of the internet, which was created by Tim Berners-Lee. This essentially gives birth to what we know as the internet today. And fast forward just before the year 2000, just before the 2K millennia, we actually get Python released, which is one of the world's most popular programming languages today. We go past 2000, we've got Microsoft releasing Windows operating system, and this is being spread commercially in homes. We also got the Netscape browser, which is the first taste of web browsers we know today. You might be familiar with a few of them, like Google Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Opera, you name it. But back then, they had Netscape. And we go to the year 2007, all the way to 2010. We've got the iPhone and the iPad being introduced. This essentially puts technology in people's hands. People can now do what you can do in a computer in a hand. And this also helps developers to come up with strategies, such as things as apps, real-time communication systems, you name it. And if we come all the way to 2020 and to 2022, we now find that online consumption has increased immensely. Why? Because people now are shopping online more than ever. Why? Because technology is easy to use. And then let's also address, how has coding impacted the industry? So many ways, but I'll break it down as short as I can. So one of the aspects where technology, especially software development, has affected the industry is the IoT, the Internet of Things. Well, you might be asking yourself, what's IoT? It's simple. Anything that connects to another device. So think of your smartwatch, think of your smartphone, think of your Wi-Fi printer, think of anything, even the cloud storage, Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, you name it, the lights that can be turned on from the flick of a switch or an app, or things like Alexa, Google Home that can talk to you whenever you ask them to do something. And, the list goes on. But it also helps to create new job opportunities because, as Cedric alluded to earlier, programmers can be found in any sector of the business. You can find programmers in hospital. You can find programmers in banks. You can find programmers virtually anywhere in any industry. Why? Because we find that with the increase of hardware development, you also need equally good software to run with it. And you've also got the introduction of smartphones. And you also have the internet boom, where internet can be accessed everywhere. And, you know, the rise of artificial intelligence. Now, companies, if you look at all the companies, the big ones that are running their businesses today, they depend on data-driven simulations. They now use data collected through machine learning and automation to build, you know, strategies on how to grow their businesses. This also leads into automation and efficiency. Think about it. How many payrolls will be processed if one person had to manually do that labor? Why not let a computer do that for you? And also we see the introduction of interacting with technologies in business sectors. I'll give you two prominent examples. If you look at the doctor there, he's performing a remote surgery. Why? Because he can. Supposedly he cannot travel to another place on the other side of the map. He can easily sit in his office and perform the surgery over there. We also see the military adopting the use of unarmed aerial vehicles, where they can actually engage in warfare and combat without putting the soldier at risk. And then we need to also see the aspect of how much of the world has adopted technology. Well, according to the International Telecommunication Union, as of the year 2021, only 59%, that's just over half of the world population. We see that technology is a big part of our lives. If you think about it, when was the last time you used your smartphone? Was it 10 seconds ago, 5 minutes ago, 2 hours ago? You see? So it's part of your life now. Even simple things like setting reminders, calendar reminders, alarms, anything that can help you, you know, or even setting something that will go off, or automating when your emails goes or when your text message goes. Technology is a big part of our life. Now, the predicament that we have here at Phil's is that we want to introduce this to kids in Africa so that they can adapt, so that they can learn about the rapid and growing technological world, so that kids won't be left out, and they also gain the experience of learning how to code for these technologies, and also to build future technologies that we may or may not get to experience. And lastly, I want to share with you something that will convince you the benefits of teaching coding to kids. Studies have shown that kids who are exposed to coding demonstrate problem solving and critical thinking. And no, this is not just coding. This can also be translated into other areas of their life, be it they're doing mathematics, be it they're doing English literature, be it they're doing arts. It also helps them. Why? Because coding also encourages creativity. And as we've also mentioned, that programmers can be found virtually in any job sector. Career opportunities are always abundant. With the rise of AI and automation, certain jobs like administration, they're being made redundant. But with coding, you're guaranteed to know that your job is safe because you are the one who writes the tools that build automation and artificial intelligence. Teamwork and collaboration will also improve kids in their life because it encourages teamwork, and it will improve their social skills. It also helps build their self-esteem. Why? Because imagine a kid learned how to make a game. They'll be very proud. Wouldn't you want that? And also this is to prepare them for a digital future, because believe you me, 5 years from now, there are going to be things that will blow your mind. Now, you might be saying that's a lot of fluff, but take a look at these examples. We've got Santiago Gonzalez, who was at the age of 14 in this image. Now, who is Santiago? Why does it matter? Why should we care? Well, think about it. He was 14 years old when he was invited to Apple to look at his source code. Think about that at 14. Some of us, we were worried about school. He was working at one of the big companies in the world. And now at the age of 23, he's still working there as one of their chief machine learning engineers. Isn't that great? What about our very own Kevin Doe from Sierra Leone? He built his own FM transmitter virtually from thrown out trash material. And after he was discovered by MIT it was brilliant because he got to further his education. Now he's got a wealth of experience, wealth of knowledge, and he's giving back to community. This is what we strive to do at Phil's. And we hope that our dream is the same as your dream, that kids should learn how to code. And with that, I would like to thank you for your time, and I'll pass this time on to Caroline. Thank you.
So now that you know what coding is, and now that you know why coding is important, the questions you probably have in your mind is it actually possible to teach kids how to code? And if it's possible, how exactly do we intend to teach kids how to code? Or I'm here this evening to teach you, or rather to share with you how we intend to take your kids through this journey. My name is Caroline, and I'm going to be sharing with you how exactly we're going to be teaching kids how to code. First and foremost, I would like to introduce you to the platforms that we're going to be using. And we have chosen YouTube, Zoom, and Google Meet because of their easy accessibility to the children. And as for those kids who are not familiar with the following platforms, we have that covered. We're going to teach kids the fundamentals of computer skills, computer literacy. As we all know, coding is an increasingly important skill that has become a fundamental aspect of many careers. The ability to code gives individuals the ability to bring their ideas to life and solve complex problems. Our online college recognizes the significance of coding and intends to provide quality education for kids on this crucial skill. So here are the steps that our online college intends to take in teaching kids how to code. First and foremost, it is the introduction to basics. Now, as we all know, everything needs a foundation. And even in coding, kids need a foundation as to where to start from, where to begin the race. So an example of this might be teaching a child a programming language, how the programming language works, what is the syntax, what exactly it does. The second thing we're going to tackle is hands-on learning. Now, for kids, their learning experience is different from adults. They cannot just read things and understand them immediately. They mostly learn through doing. Now, as we have heard the term, actions speak louder than words. For kids, it does the most. So you have seen that as your day goes by, for example, you may not even have taught your child even to water the garden, but there will even be a day where you just see him turning on the tap and using the hose. And you wonder, how did my child learn to do this? It is by seeing you doing it, and they can easily follow the steps. And we're going to take this to the advantage and use it to its peak in teaching our kids how to code. The third initiative is through project-based learning. Now, project-based learning is also something that is going to be using a lot of visuals. So through this, we're going to be teaching kids as how their effect or how their code affects whatever they're going to be building. For example, if we want to teach a child a certain code, we're not going to show them just how to type a code, but what exactly that code has, like what are the effects exactly. So we're going to be showing kids that if you write a certain code, here are the results. They're going to be able to build their own games. Each and every step of the way, they're going to be seeing their results, what effects they're having. And then fourthly, we're going to have mentorship and guidance. As we know, this is very important. For some kids may get discouraged along the way. They may fall here and there, but we have made sure to provide a strong mentorship and guidance for them each and every step of the way. We're going to be guiding them through each and every journey, each and every language, each and every boundary, each and every obstacle. We are going to be their backbone. They will be free to ask questions and to also interact with us in giving us feedback or even new ideas. As well, this will enable us to actually spot out what individual skills that a child has, what makes them stand out, what builds the things that are unique about them. And we're going to utilize this to point them in the right direction. So here are some languages that we selected, some programming languages that are used widely across different domains around the world. And these are the languages that we're going to be teaching to the kids. Feel free to follow through any link provided for those who would like to acquaint themselves well with the following language or following languages. In conclusion, our online college is dedicated to providing kids with a comprehensive education in coding. Our curriculum is designed to provide hands-on experience, project-based learning, mentorship, and accessibility. We believe that by providing kids with these tools, we can help them develop the skills they need to succeed in a rapidly changing technological landscape. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope you really enjoy it. Thank you so much for your supporting, for your coming. Please, please don't forget, if you have got any question, please just write on our live chat. We are here to answer all your questions. We are here for you. Thank you so much. Or you can just click a Zoom link on our live chat. Or if you are going to watch this video later, you just write or on a comment section your question, and then we are here to answer all your questions. Right. Let me round up our conference. Let me share my screen. Right. Right. So our programs for kids. Number one, we are going to train kids on how to make websites, what we call website development, which means we are going to train kids on how to make website from start up to end, which means from front end and back end. Right. Number two, we are going to train kids on how to make mobile applications, what we call mobile app development, which means applications. I hope you are aware of this. Applications like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, Snapchat, and more. Number three, we are going to train kids on how to make games, what we call game development. Right. So we have, for the meantime, we've got only 3 programs for kids. Right. About age issue, we are going to specialize on kids from 6 years up to 16 years. Right. Then it's good to know our language we are going to specialize on, which means we are going to specialize on number one, CSS, number 2, HTML, number 3, JavaScript, number 4, SQL, number 5, Python, number 6, Flutter, number 7, C, number 8, PHP. All those are programming languages we are going to specialize on. Right. Then our lessons are as follows. Right. 90% is going to be practical, and then 10% is going to be theory, which means we are going to specialize much on practical. Coding, it's about practical, not theory. Right. So then the other thing, our lessons are in levels. Right. Which means we have got level 1. Level 1, it's computer literacy. Level 2, beginner. Level 3, intermediate. Level 4, advanced. Right. Which means on level 1, kids are going to just learn, just to know how to operate a computer or a laptop. Then level 2, beginner on coding, which means kids are going to learn just the basics of coding. Then level 3, going a little bit on coding. Then level 4, which is an advanced level on coding. Then period, which means level 1 is going to take 1 month. Level 2 is going to take 3 months. Level 3 is going to take 6 months. Level 4 is going to take 8 months. And then durations of our lessons are as follows. 3 lessons per week. And then level 1, 30 minutes. Level 2, 1 hour. Level 3, 1 hour, 30 minutes. Level 4, 2 hours per day or per lesson. Right. Lastly, our prizes are as follows. Level 1, 30 US dollar, level 2, 40 US dollar, level 3, 50 US dollar, level 4, 66 US dollar. Don't forget our prices are per month. Are per month. Right. That's all about coding for kids. Don't forget our programs are number 1, website development, number 2, mobile app development, number 3, game development, which means we are going to train kids from start up to end. I hope you really enjoyed. Thank you so much. Thank you for your coming. If you have got any question, please don't forget to write your question on comment section. We are here to answer all questions concerning coding for kids. It's about coding for kids. Don't forget, our mission is to empower the future generation on how to solve the problems. We have got problems in our community. We have got problems in our society. We have got problems in our country. We have got problems in Africa and also in the world. So we are here to empower the future generation on how to solve problems associated with us. Thank you so much.